everyone, and welcome to this week's bike review. Now this one's a little bit different. We're actually going to be reviewing my personal BCP 450, but no, I'm not going to be riding it. The man right next to me is going to be testing this thing, and I dare say flapping off the back of it. Are you excited, Belly?
I am pumped, Lee. I tell you what, look at me in new threads this year. I'm with the program, with the Fox program, so I'm going to be faster, fitter, better.
And looking good in the Fox, mate.
Looking forward to this thing, mate, because you've talked this up.
Okay, well, we use the production forks, the KYB air forks. We've got them fine-tuned by Tim Varr from 811 Racing. They work exceptionally well, but it's in the engine department where it gets real. We've got a factory Geico head on it. We've got a Pro Circuit 6 Series cam with matching valves, valve springs, etc. With all of that, you need a very strong clutch, so we've got a complete Hinson top to bottom to cater for that. Let's not forget the Vortex ignition. We've also got ETS race fuel that this thing will not run if we're not running on race fuel. Pro Circuit exhaust system just to make it sound nice and also gives it a little bit more power as well.
I've got one question.
Right.
Where did you get all this stuff from, mate? Because this is a bike that I don't think a normal person in Australia, let alone the world, could build. I can't wait, buddy. It's going to be so much fun on this thing. It really is. I'm very excited because this is the closest thing to a race bike that I'll be riding.
I can't wait to see how you go on it, mate. Looking forward to it.
Oh, I'm going to thrash it. I've just come back from riding Lee's CRF450 2016 model, and wow, that's all I can say about this thing. I tell you what, it has a lot of bling and a lot of motor work done on it, and it really does tell. I can't believe how fast this thing is. It's like a CRF450 stock where it's got beautiful bottom end and then it sort of revs out really quickly, but this thing just keeps going and going and going fast. It's like a rocket. It's actually, well, too fast for me to handle, that's for sure. So I did do a couple of runs just up and down on the smooth stuff, probably 200 or 300 metre stretch. Third, fourth gear was about as good as I could get into, and mate, this thing just really peeled off. So for the front stoppers, this big girl has got a Moto Stuff 280mm rotor with a braided front line. Now, that really does stop you. The suspension, well, of course it's going to be stiff. I don't ride anywhere near as fast as Lee. But geez, I tell you what, when you do actually get to some parts where I was jumping some of the jumps, it worked really well. Even into the corners, if you actually ride hard into the corners, where it sits quite well and it does steer really well. The suspension's obviously set up very well for Lee and the speed that he rides. Now I know I've raved on about the motor and how fast it is, but the first thing I noticed when I jumped on the bike was how stiff the controls were. It's a Hinson clutch. I haven't really used a Hinson clutch before. The front brake is quite stiff as well, but that's just because it's not adjusted to my little hands. That's about it there. So overall, this thing just wants to be ridden hard. That's the bottom line. It's an absolute race machine. Lee's done a great job. I think it looks probably one of the best Hondas out there in Australia with everything that it's got on. He really has put a good effort into this bike, and it shows. For people like Lee, it's fantastic. For people like me, there's going to be a lot of tweaking to the suspension, and the motor's not going to get exactly what it wants to be, and that's ridden hard.
For all your motorcycle insurance needs, visit swanmotorcycle.com.au.